So you're thinking about implementing a 40-day church challenge and wondering, is this right for our church? This is a training series of videos. This is video number 6. And in this video, we're going to talk about how to incorporate kids and youth into the 40-day challenge. And one of my main premises, along with my wife, Allison, who really is the brains behind a lot of the children's side of what we do, is the fact that kids have what it takes to not just learn how to be a disciple, but to actually be disciples. They can do and say things and that some adults could never get away with. And I've been amazed at their generosity. I've been amazed at the ways in which I've seen them serve. I've been amazed even more so at how they're unafraid to speak about who Jesus is. And so one of the things I think, let me give you kind of the one why behind our resources, and then I want to talk about strategy for how to include kids and youth. So the why behind this is I'm a dad of 2 boys. This is very personal for me. My kids at the time of this taping are 8 and 12. And so I want to grow my sons up to be the greatest followers of Jesus. And I'm not alone. 85% of Christian parents, according to Barna research, says that they're the #1 faith formation person in their child's life. But when you read a couple of paragraphs lower, it says that hardly any have any intentionality or any plan on how to disciple their children. And so we want to come alongside of you and tell you the best way to disciple your kids is with Jesus. He's the best answer. If you're one of those few parents that has a plan and it's working, that's great. We created these kids resources mostly so that they could learn the targets. And as parents, you could have real targets for them to hit in their pursuit of following Jesus. And so that's a huge heart thing for me. And even personally, the 5 principles of Red Letter Challenge are the 5 principles that I talk to my kids about with every month. And so it's giving us targets. And I think if you use our resources like that as a parent, it can have long-term effects. So let's now talk about the church side though. How do we incorporate kids and youth knowing that they can be disciples and how important it is to include them in these challenges? So starting with kids, one of the things we provide on our website for free is a weekly kids curriculum with all of our challenges. That is written entirely for you and for your church to use in Sunday school or kids church or whatever you might call it. We've tried to make it as flexible as possible, knowing that there are many different options of kids church and how you do those. And so even the activities or games they will suggest, we'll try to give a long list so you can pick ultimately what works for your setting. And so free weekly kids curriculum, that way the kids are learning the same things that the adults are learning in what we call big church. And so that's a free resource that you should absolutely use with the kids. We also have written kids workbooks. You see the first one in our first challenge called Red Letter Challenge Kids. We've got corresponding kids books with all of our challenges. And the kids book is designed for K through 5. And so again, we want to not only teach our kids on Sundays the big ideas, we want to challenge them to actually do what Jesus said and to do what Jesus did. And so in these, they'll find kid-friendly devotions that mirror the adult. It's the same themes every day. There's also a narrative that we've woven in and out of this because we know that kids learn really well through story. And we've heard just awesome stories of how parents have used that with their children. I will say this, even though it's designed for K through 5, and again, knowing I come from that field right now with one of my kids, I can't just hand my child a book and say, good luck, 40 days, go for it. No, I need to be with that child. I need to be challenging them, checking in on them. And so parent involvement, and I would say church leader involvement with parents and kids is really important. So that's kind of the K through 5 side. What about the youth? And it's kind of a simple answer and probably points to me because I'm kind of a simple guy. We've actually seen youth groups do really well with the original Red Letter Challenge. And I think it's because of this. I write in a simple way to understand. My hope is that it's challenging to do because sometimes it's hard and challenging to follow Jesus. Sometimes it's not, but so it should be challenging in practice, but simple in its concept and simple to understand. And so we've actually seen it work really well with youth, the regular Red Letter Challenge. And so using the regular resources, the videos, the small group guides, and also the books are an awesome thing. If you're one of those churches that meets as a youth group once a week, What I would suggest to you, so if you fill this with more than just sort of your small groups and you have activities or games, I would suggest 3 things. I would suggest looking at the weekly kids curriculum just to kind of understand what all is there. I would also suggest looking definitely and prepping for the small group guide and video. There might be a specific youth related question you could add to your context that would be helpful. But I would also, if there's a teaching time to your youth group, I would take a look at the sermon manuscripts and realize, I think between those 3, I think you'll be able to find plenty of content and things that are applicable to youth to really challenge them well. And similarly to kids though, I do believe that youth need to be challenged and they need check-ins. It can't just be, hey, do this. No, we need to be talking with them. And this could provide a really great parent-to-child moment at their home in these check-ins. And so I hope that helps. One other thing you could do for youth is really plug the social media side for them. And so make it fun for them, make the challenges fun for them on the social media side. What this might mean though, is that the youth are on a totally different social media platform than adults. In fact, what I've heard is that whenever the adults join one, they find another one. So in all seriousness, it's not crazy to think about how do we use TikTok to engage with our youth on a daily basis through the Red Letter Challenge or whatever the popular social media platform is in the day, because it seems like it's changing a lot. So including kids and youth, they have what it takes, giving parents and your people the tools and to really disciple their children and incorporating them into the overall, I think is going to make a huge difference. Hope that helped. In the next video, we're going to start getting the specifics of what church package size or book quantity is right for our church. See you then.